This episode of the SWTOR Escape podcast is brought to you by the Behind the Games podcast on newoverlords.com and YouTube/newoverlords. This week's episode is with Chris Schmidt, relevant to your interests, previous guest on this show, previous game designer for Star Wars The Old Republic, and now a game director for Infinity Ward in their new Austin studio. We highly recommend this one, whether you know Chris or not. It was an amazing conversation with a very senior person in the games industry. Really interesting to hear how things work. And getting you and everyone you know to subscribe to the show on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and or Spotify. Subscribe on all of them. That would be amazing and would really help us turn all of this into something slightly bigger, which we hope to do. Okay, it is SWTOR time. Let's do this. The very last Charles Boyd stream for Star Wars The Old Republic was today, and we also heard quite a bit more from the new team, not new team, new in their new roles, and about 7.1, and we are going to talk about all of that and more on this episode of the Star Wars Escape podcast, the SWTOR Escape podcast even, from newoverlords.com. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 433, and with me is my co-host, Seema. Hi, Seema, how's it going?
Well, hello, Max. It's going really good. I mean, it's where I am, it's finally completely and totally summer. So we've been having really warm weather, which has been very nice. We've even had like summer thunderstorms and that like ozony smell of rain, which I really love. So there's that. But like in SWTOR, I will say that let's see, this week in MFN, which is our guild activity on Tuesday nights where we get together and do something low stress, pretty fun, and we just tell jokes and look at different things. This week we did the world boss quests 3 times, and we did some murderation of world bosses and a few mobs that got in our way. And I also want to say that we're entering a transition with MFN, which is that
That's
BC,
right.
who has been running the MFN for us for 3.5 years and doing a really exemplary job of it, is transitioning out, and Corley is transitioning in. And Corley is another sort of great member of the guild, and I know he'll do a fantastic job. He's been our raid leader on our ops team for quite a while now. He's very accomplished guy, and he'll have some backups too.
Yeah.
So that's our plan for MFN. But I would just like to say thank you to BC for all the work he's put into MFN and made it such a great thing that it is today.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not going anywhere. He'll still be
No,
around. He's just got a
he's just
got a baby. That's
he's got a beba.
taking up quite a bit of time, as they are wont to do. So
Yes.
we're going to give him a little bit of a break and do some
Yeah.
rotations, and he will still be there with us on Tuesday nights. But trying to do the setup and making sure he's there every minute of it is really hard when the baby's in the other room saying, "Hey, you need you here now, now."
Right. The baby has other ideas. And then in our ops team tonight, we went and did most of Gods from the Machine, which is pretty fun. It's been a while since were there. We were 7 manning, so it was exciting to say the least.
Yes.
Um, but that was a lot of fun. And then we went and killed a world boss for conquest points because I had, and many people on the team had already done it 3 times because we did it on MFN, so we didn't on these characters, so we didn't even have the weekly to do. But it
Right.
was a very fun evening. And also, Max, I have a science dad joke for you. You want to hear
I'm
it?
already laughing at your setup. Your setup and delivery is impeccable. So
Okay.
let's go.
So it's a man and his little boy, so it's a real dad joke. And the little boy says, "Dad, can you explain to me what a solar eclipse is?" And the father says, "No, son."
Well done. Well, I like it. I like it. We will get to hear another dad joke when we talk about what Eric Musco said on the stream earlier. So keep the dad jokes rolling. Put them in the notes chat room. Put them down here down in the comments on the YouTube video. Get the dad jokes going. I like that one. I like science jokes. I have a soft spot for any kind of science joke.
Yeah.
So that was great. I, which I thanks for asking. Uh,
Yes. How was your week, Max?
I also had quite a bit of fun in MFN. I'm continuing to check in on doing like a war zone here and there, but I think I'm kind of on hold with the finishing off all the Steam achievements because I, as I said last week, I tried to start doing those master mode chapters for Fallen Empire and Eternal Throne, and that didn't seem to work out too well right now in the gear that I have, although I could have boosted my companion a little bit and I did not. I'll wait till I get a 330, 340 gear and see what things look like at that point. If it gets a little bit easier, then I'll start going through those. I still need to get to Valor rank 100. That's a little bit on hold too. Next time there's a double XP, double Valor, that's where I'm going to go after that. Otherwise, that is has been fun. Yeah, and I was in a little bit of No Man's Sky this week. It's short bits, but they had an expansion last week, and then their expedition, which followed the expansion, came out yesterday. Yes, yesterday, which was quite fun. And I even did a video on what that expansion is. I did a little 3-minute video on the expansion and a 4-minute video on the expedition and kind of what that means. And they're not going to do a ton of those, but that's on the channel if you sort of want to see what that looks like. And then yesterday, getting that Chris Schmidt interview video out was kind of a big thing and awesome. Really awesome to talk to Chris again. It was actually a year ago that we did the interview with Chris for the SWTOR Escape podcast, and great to catch back up with him. Hear a little bit about his design philosophy and everything that was going on when he was working at BioWare and how that affects the industry in general and how he's bringing some of those same kind of thinking to Infinity Ward, but not too much on what's going on within Infinity Ward Austin just yet, because that's kind of a new thing and it's still just getting warmed up. So we will be following his career with great interest. We have a whole bunch of
Yeah.
people to follow their careers with great interest, which I'm very
I
happy
mean,
about.
it's really a fantastic conversation, and he's such a great person and such a great resource, and he plays a ton of games, which I did
Yeah.
not really know that until we talked to him this time.
In a wide variety. And we did talk about them, and I put some clips in if you haven't seen them, like Euro Truck Simulator. And I think I put a clip in of Power Wash Simulator.
But not just those. I mean, not
No,
just the sort of cozies. He's also played Elden Ring and
Elden
yeah,
Ring and Call of Duty, of course, and Stray, and yeah. So we get
yeah.
into it. We talk about it, which is really cool. You know what else we talk about? Is we talk about the news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
I will go first, and I will take this one, even though your name is next to it, Seema.
Okay.
The oh, yeah, I'm doing the Acolyte one, right?
It's fine. It's all fine.
That show, The Acolyte. There's a new Star Wars show, The Acolyte, that we're just hearing about. Apparently, they're starting to add people to the show. There's a new cast member that was added, and I'm not familiar with this actor, but I know she's got some credits to her name that she sounds like she's gonna be pretty cool. Amandala Stenberg. So the Acolyte is in this weird period of the end of the High Republic when things start going kind of dark side again. So we'll kind of see where that develops. There's a long time before we're actually going to get anything out of that. But it'll be
Mhm.
this mystery thriller thing, and they're starting to add people to it, and they'll be starting to make it before long, which will be fun to hear about. So
I
cool.
mean, I
Oh,
have
she
to
was
say I
Rue from Hunger Games. Oh, she was just a little tyke then back then. So I guess she's not that
oh,
much of a big tyke just now. But oh,
true. Still kind of tiny.
yeah, okay. Yeah,
But
well,
I have
is
to
this
say the
is
word mystery kind of gets my interest because I do like in general as a genre I like mystery, but then I don't think they
yeah.
mean what I mean. I think they just mean mysterious.
Well, they say mystery thriller.
I
Uh,
know.
this
I
picture
think they
makes her
mean
look really tiny because it makes her look
yeah,
like
'cause
she's the height
right. Yes,
the height of
yes, it does.
R2D2.
Right, and then there's one with her and Darth Vader where he's, like, twice her height, so
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. But she's looking look, but she's looking she's Darth Vader's got nothing on her. That's what she's saying. "Get
So
out of my way, Darth
also
Vader."
in pop culture news,
Oh,
so
she's wearing a
Star
Darth
Wars.
Maul jersey, a Darth Maul
Yes,
hockey
she is.
jersey.
Yes, she is. I
Sweet.
know. I it made me think, is she was she already a fan? But
Maybe.
we don't
I
know. Maybe. So also the KOTOR remake has gotten put on hold. So Aspyr, who was a company that their claim to fame was, um, what's the word? But like convert pre-existing games from other studios onto new platforms.
yes.
They were going to do that. They were going to do a they've been actually working on the KOTOR remake for 2 or 3 years, and then this week they said, nope, we're putting it on hold. And by the way, we're firing two of our top people. So some kind of shakeup going on there.
Yeah. So I wasn't really all that interested in the KOTOR remake, remaster, however it was going to work out. I liked KOTOR back in the day, but I liked it back in the day. And I don't need to replay remastered versions of every game I have ever played. If I had never played it before, then maybe I would be more interested. So the fact that it's postponed doesn't affect me all that much. It's a cool thing though, and it's out there. I also never really figured out who was, and I asked this question before the show, who was paying the bills? Who did BioWare contract Asper to do this? Did they
Or
sell
did
the rights to them, or I don't know how that all worked, but
We're uninformed on
yeah.
this.
So if somebody knows more about Asper and is into it, let us know what your thoughts are, especially since it's kind of on indefinite hold right now and they haven't said, "Hey, we're going to bring it back, don't worry about it." And they
No, in fact, what they said was we're going to be looking for other things to do,
yeah,
which is
so it
kind of a
might
weird
not
comment.
get
Yeah.
made at this point, which would for people that were looking forward to it would certainly be a shame. The in-game events. So we are wrapping up Bounty Contract Week, and that will be done by August 2nd. And then, sort of jumping the gun here a little bit of was some of one thing that we heard for sure in the live stream. Nightlife is coming back, and it's coming back next week. It's starting on August 2nd. So talking about in-game events, Nightlife will be back. There will be a blog post that explains it in detail in the next couple days. They better get it out pretty quick because they got 2 business days before it is August 2nd. Uh, apparently they've got a couple things up their sleeve. They already did show off, and we'll get to it in the video. They showed off some of the new weapons that are part of Nightlife, but that'll be interesting to see. And I'm sure Seema and I will be right on top of it, and we will not be,
We will
at the end of summer or in the middle of
we will
winter going, "Is Nightlife still on?" I'm sure that's not gonna happen.
definitely not. That could never happen.
No, no, it could not. Guild and community news. What big thing else do we have starting on August 2nd,
Oh
Seema?
my gosh, yeah.
It's starting on August 2nd. It's gonna be a crazy
Yes,
night.
Summer of Love, which is our yearly guild sort of celebration, and it basically in all the games we play, they'll be doing like little special events in the games. Um, like for us, we'll have a special version of MFN on Tuesday night, and they'll do something in Final Fantasy, and they'll do several things are planned for WoW, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's kicked off on the second, pretty much. Well, there might be I know there's an event in WoW Classic before that, but the main day is August 2nd, which is Remembrance Day, which is a time that we all get together as a guild in Discord basically and in the various games and remember fellow gamers that we've lost.
Yeah,
And so it's a touching and bonding time, and I recommend it to all AIE guildies. Just make some time on August 2nd to take part.
there'll be big groups in for that in particular. So we have a little bit of a talk for maybe about 15 minutes. Anyone that wants to can sort of step up and say a couple words. And then we have like an in-game procession. There'll be a march in World of Warcraft. There'll be a gathering in Final Fantasy. There'll be a gathering in Elder Scrolls Online. There will be a procession, a little bit of a twist of what we've done in the past in Star Wars: The Old Republic. If you'd like to join us, I think it's going to be Imperial side, Star Wars: The Old Republic on Tuesday night because we're going to need to sort of congregate on a particular side. But then after that procession, so that, then that goes on for about 15 minutes and then it devolves into, a little bit of a celebration, get some fireworks going, maybe kill a couple world bosses. We'll see what we want to do there. For us, especially because Tuesday night is 7.1, we may devolve into, everybody just staying in voice and chatting about the new content. If you want to join, aie-guild.org/Discord is how you can get to our guild Discord, or just go to aie-guild.org in the upper right, or search for AI Guild anywhere in the interwebs and you will find us. But you can find that link to our Discord, jump in there. There's a SWTOR section with a couple channels. You can ask for a guild invite, or you don't have to be invited to come to these Tuesday night things in particular. If you're on Starforge, we'd love to have anybody just stop by and say hi.
Yeah.
All right. We've got coming on Tuesday, Seema, is we've got Malgus. Malgus is gonna be back.
Yes.
Power will be yours if you are willing to burn.
I lost you. I don't know. We didn't group up in game, but I am here in front of Malgus on the Imperial fleet.
Oh yeah, I think I was still in my stronghold, but yeah, I'm on my way.
So, power will be yours if you are willing to burn. That line was written by Caitlin, who we got to see on the stream today. So, if you haven't heard, there was a BioWare live stream today, Star Wars: The Old Republic live stream. It was Charles Boyd's last stream. And I say last, but who knows? He could come back someday. It's his last for now. And it was a little bit of a goodbye to Charles at the beginning and the end, but it was also a fair amount of 7.1. Not a ton of huge announcements. We didn't expect that. That's not what it was intended to be. But we'll go through what it was. Fun thing to kick it off. We'll say at the beginning and we'll say at the end. There's a giveaway associated with it it's not gonna last too long. I think it's only until August 8th. And yeah, I think that's what Jackie said. It sounded like it was gonna be short. You got to go to the SWTOR.com/redeem-code page. You log in with your account, and then the giveaway code is Lots Malgus. LOTSMALGUS. Lots Malgus. And I don't think capitalization matters, but when Jackie put it on the screen, she capitalized the S there in the middle, and I don't know why. But I put it in. I already got the deco. It's a deco poster of Malgus for your stronghold. Kind of cool. Just a little something, little something from the live stream, which we can all partake in. So that's nice. All right, let's talk about the stream. Seema, how long was this stream? And I've got the video here that we're gonna sort of scroll through as we're. Here it is. Here's the video. I'm gonna sort of scroll through it. I think it was about 40 minutes, so it doesn't start until a few minutes in. So it was 46 minutes, but yeah, so it was about 40 minutes. 40-minute stream.
And they started right at the end of the countdown, right at 2:00.
Yeah, you made that point. I don't know how they timed it so well, but they had a countdown clock. Then they played the trailer for 7.0 with Sahar, and the trailer ends, and they went live, and it was exactly on time for the start of the stream.
Right. I mean, I can see how they did that. I'm just remarking that usually it's not right on time.
No,
This was just more precise.
I know Jackie was.
I think that's Jackie's influence.
Yeah, I know Jackie was doing a ton of work to try to get everything lined up, to line up the people. I tried not to have the stupid Twitch Twitch chat on, which I should not have. But by the end, I don't know how many people were saying, "Oh, it was pre-recorded. It was pre-recorded." It was not pre-recorded, and that was some of evidence of how well they were doing this. They said they were live in the office. I knew that they were going to do it live in the office. And when they did the breaks, the transitions between, and they had to like play a little bit of music, and they were switching to another person. That's because they were unclipping their mics. They had to give it to the other person, so they were muting the mics. The two new people who were coming on were sitting down. This was a live thing. Everybody's saying, well, they didn't even read the chat room. The chat room was going by at 90 miles an hour. If they were going to read the chat room, then Charles would never have been able to say goodbye. It would have been like, hood toggle and PvP, balance the nerf the power tech. Sorry, we're not nerfing the power tech. What good is that? I can't even read the chat room, and we get like one message per minute. At most in our chat room, and it screws that I try to like keep an eye on that out of the corner of my eye, and so I said I wasn't gonna get angry about this, Seema. Why did you make me talk about the stupid chat room? And they were all a stupid bunch of jerks.
So, I, on the other hand, I expanded the window so that chat wasn't showing.
Make the window full screen, shut the chat off.
Yeah.
There were a lot of great people in the chat too, and there were a lot of people.
I know, and when
I
did it, I thought, maybe I'll miss something, but honestly, it's with all the scroll, I probably wouldn't read it anyway, and yeah.
And your eye is only going to be caught by the stuff that you don't want to pay attention to, and so the one person on the side saying, we'll miss you, Charles, just sort of floats on by, and then the guy in all caps saying, why can you never balance PvP after 17 years? You guys should just shut the game down. All right, stop, Seema. Stop going on and on about the chat room. Okay, so let's go through some of these notes. Where are my notes? So they kicked off with Charles and Jackie, as you can see here behind me. We'll do this Mystery Science Theater style. We're not going to play their voices, but they kicked off with Charles and Jackie. Charles led it by saying, "This is my very last stream," and Jackie's like, "Why did you lead with that? Now I'm sad." But that was a big part of, I think, why this stream happened, because they wanted to get Charles in before he was gone. They wanted to do like a wrap up, allow him to talk a little bit about and express his excitement for what's coming out with 7.1 and beyond, which she was certainly able to do. So I think that was fine. I think that was okay. And here's the table of contents of what they went through, which was they talked about story. So, and we'll see that they got Ashley and Caitlin on live. So they were on live as well. So that was a little bit of a fun twist. And they mostly talked about story. So they talked about the daily area story on Manon, and they introduced some of the new characters. And then they
gave, it was, I mean, it was teaser style, but it was still quite a bit of info, and they clearly, both of them have command of the story.
Yes. Yeah. So let's forget the table of contents. Let's just skip forward to that, because it was fun to see them. Ashley Rule, again, she's the narrative director, and Caitlin Sullivan Kelly, who is now the lead writer. Yeah, I wish they had done them, but big full screen. They just had them like small in the corner. But their green game was on point today. Also, they had really good quality camera pointed at these people, and their green screen was tuned well. Their chroma key.
I think their desk though should have been slightly higher up. They look kind of awkward.
Yeah, I don't think they're actually at a desk. I think they're sitting on stools, and then they put that line there. You're right. They should have edged that line up, which they could have, because it's just clipped.
So it'd be more like your studio, which seems more natural.
Yes, this yes. Here's my desk, just so everybody remembers what it looks like. I'll consult to them on setting up a broadcast studio because I'm such an expert now. I'm not. Okay. So yeah, and they also they played this little clip of a teaser, and it is a brief teaser. Is that what they're gonna do? They actually show it? Yeah, here we go. Um, so that's why I'm here on the fleet in this same place. It's just Lana and Sean. Uh, why am I what Sean? What's his name? Lana and
There and Sean.
Theron. Theron spelled the other way. They just tell you to be careful, but it's obvious that this is a sort of where the story is going to kick off. You do walk out and get to have a little chat with Malgus. We didn't get to hear what that chat is just yet, but they were pretty excited. Ashley and Caitlin were pretty excited about that little scene, and so looking forward to hearing what that conversation ends up as. I certainly want to hear what's up with Malgus, um, and how he's gonna. We know he's not gonna to stay in there. We've speculated on this before. We know he's not gonna live out his days in this prison on the fleet. Um, where's that gonna go? Where's he gonna end up? We gotta find that out.
Unless that's where he wants to be.
Ah, remember what was that? Uh, Avengers, the first Avengers movie, when Loki allowed himself to be captured.
Oh, right.
Maybe it's one of those. So Loki allowed himself to be captured, and his plan was, in allowing himself to be captured, he was going to release the Hulk by basically taunting Banner enough that get the Hulk to break out and take down the hover carrier that they were on. So maybe this is Malgus's plan. Maybe Malgus is gonna drive us crazy enough that we take out the fleet. That would be crazy. Wait, I gotta back up because we have to pause on this, which I like the giant Phyraxan shark deco
Yeah.
and monument. All right. So we're going to hear more about Malgus. It's probably not going to be very big, but there will be some sort of element of that we'll get in 7.1. The bigger piece of 7.1 that we know is coming is the dailies on Manon. So one of the things that we got to see is this scene, which if you're listening to this on audio, it's a giant Phyraxan shark head monument made out of stone, but like full size of what a Phyraxan shark would be. So, so it's like 50 feet across. And I guess this is also a deco that we can get from our strongholds, but it's got to go on like a giant starship hook. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It'll go good with my baby Phyraxan shark live baby Phyrexian shark that I have in my stronghold now, which I really like as well.
Did you say baby shark?
Dude,
Wow, you could
baby
not
shark,
say doot doot doot. Yeah.
baby shark. Yeah, we sung that the other day in my stronghold when we all went in to see the baby shark. So if you guys have not seen that, I think it's still in the cartel market. The Phyraxan shark deco, where there's a baby Phyraxan shark and it's a live deco. It looks just like a holding tank, and you press the button and it grabs some fish out of a crate, drops them in, and then the little baby Phyraxan shark comes up and eats the fish. What did you call the fish the first time you saw them? You called them like dinner rolls or something? uh,
Possibly.
I think
Yeah,
so.
probably.
So Manon daily area, and that story element, all of that reminder, you do need to be caught up on all of the content. You need to be done with Manon on a character if you want to get to that. If you want to do the dailies, if you want to do what's next, if you want to meet these new characters, if you want to hear what's next with Malgus, you do need to be caught up on the content. We talked about that, our wish for a skip ahead to get closer to 7.0 than where they drop you off right now to get our characters, our alts caught up.
Right.
But at least we have most of us now should have a character or two that we can at least see the main story on. We got to meet some new characters. Did you see these new characters, Seema?
I did.
What are your thoughts on Min Ishka's outfit?
I like it.
So this is one thing I did see in the chat that was amusing. This scene came up, this picture came up. So Min Ishka is a Nautilon. She's a Will Smith's baby creature, and she's wearing like this cool pantsuit, and because she's like a professional ambassador-ish type of person. I think that's the character she's playing, but it's like a tan with like a orangish tan suit jacket with like extra fabric hanging down. She's got a little bit of a necklace on. It's got pants and but still like a utility belt, and she's got her hand on her hip. And everybody the Twitch chat went wild when this came up and said, "Oh, cool outfit! I want that outfit." The haters were like, "That's all this game is good for is the outfits." Blah, blah, blah. But it was good. It was a good outfit. I kind of agree. So well done on that designer, whoever put this together. We also we're going to get to meet a new Captain Wokatso, a new Selkath, who's part of the deal here on the Republic side. So those two are on the Republic side, and then they referred to this Commander Kruk, who is a bug dude. I forgot what this race is called. Chat room, what's these bug dudes called? But he is the Imperial agent who is managing the operations for the Empire side of the story. And apparently, when you do this for the Manon Daily area, Gand, yeah, he's a Gand. I don't know why. I don't know why. See that, we start the podcast. I've got a lot of things on my mind. I've got things to rant about. I don't have time to remember the Star Wars lore at this moment. I've got
Well, actually, all the creatures, all the various races and species are hard to remember, if you ask me.
there are very many of them, very many. Uh, but Commander Kruk is the Imperial story, so there's a separate story for the Imperial side versus the Republic side, which is kind of nice as you're doing the daily areas. The Empire is trying to basically subvert and undermine the sovereignty of Manan so that they can get their hands on what they want for the Kolto that they're extracting off of the ocean floor. The Republic is trying to team up with them and help them out and be cool about it. And so we'll see how that goes and see how it feels on both sides. I did see a little bit of lamentation in a couple places on why does the Empire have to be jerks to everybody, but that's kind of their deal. I mean, it's like the dark side is sort of widely prevalent within the Empire, being led by Sith Lords and whatnot.
Well, I mean, their stated aim is power.
Power
So
can
it's
be
not.
yours.
Yes, yes.
Power will be yours if you are willing to burn.
That's right. Yeah. So too bad that's choices matter, and you chose to align yourself with the Empire side. Although my main character is Empire these days. Don't lament it. That's part of the deal. What story are you gonna do first, though, Seema?
Oh, I I have no choice.
So
So I'll
you,
do it on my Merc.
because we've got our characters on the ops team, and we don't have a lot of characters that are ready to go, as we said, because we're not going to play through a million flashpoints and all of that. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll
Oh,
all get through it on many characters. We'll get to see both sides of that story, and that'll be fun. It'll be nice to have a new daily area, but yes, I would like to be able to do that daily area on all of my alts. BioWare, here's another appeal petition. Everyone sign my petition. I don't have a petition. And we'll get our alts able to skip forward. I think that would be great.
I mean, I heard some people in general today saying that they had gotten characters through all of that so that they would be ready for Manon, and I'm like, I wish I had done that, but I didn't, and I, I, oh well, I still have that in front of me. Those five. Well, we already complained about that. The
Yes.
5 instances and
Rant
yeah.
about it, Seema. Rant like the wind.
I don't want to do it. That's my rant.
Wow. Boy, that was spicy, wasn't it, guys? I think I'm gonna bringing tears to my eyes. Stop, Seema. You're gonna make Ashley and Caitlin down there in the corner of the screen cry.
I'll have to watch it on YouTube, I guess. I mean, it's not that I don't want to play the game, because that's what it sounds like, but it's just when I log in to do stuff, I think, do I want to run 5 instances on my commando or my
that I've
shadow
already
or whatever
run, yeah.
a million times and like
That we already ran when they were in beta and on the PTS.
and do stuff with like the level 25 death magnet companion they provide and
Yep. Exactly. I know what you're saying,
it
Seema.
doesn't sound like a fun thing, so I have a hard time getting myself to do it. But you know what? It is what it is.
Stop yelling, Seema. All right. We also got, so Ashley and Caitlin introduced the next topic, and they introduced it from their perspective, which was story as well. So then it transitioned off and we got into the details of the mechanics of R4, but the R4 Anomaly is also coming. So this new operation, if you haven't heard, is coming on Tuesday as well as part of 7.1. We're all very excited. We've got new ops to do. Our team is going to be in there on Thursday night. It is the R4 Anomaly. There's some sort of strange gravitational anomaly that's knocking ships out of hyperspace. What could it be? There's rumors of a Sith cult, the Unmasked, possessing a devastating weapon. And what is that weapon? That weapon is now confirmed. It is a mass shadow generator. So we did look this up back in the day when we first saw those previews on what might be going on, what might be happening. It is a mass shadow generator. Mass shadow generator. Remnants of Malachor 5. I thought they had even had a picture of it here, the version on Wikipedia. But yeah, so it's a big weapon machine from the KOTOR lore in particular that we get now back in the game, and this cult is trying to get it running again, and they are kind of being cultish about it. So the station itself is part of the story, and you're going to battle through that as part of the operation. But then this Sith cult that is there as well is bringing a little bit of that Sith cult feel to what's going on too. Which leads us then to Eric Musco and Jackie Coe. So Eric popped in. I heard a lot of people before and at the start of the live stream, people like Eric, which is good to hear. I'm glad they like something.
Right.
I almost saw universal positive thoughts too. Is Eric going to be here? Eric, hearts for Eric. That's nice. So there's one nice thing. And it's only the loud people in the chat. You know, it's the few troublemakers that are bringing their harshing my mellow, dude. So I don't mean to put this on like this isn't the community. This isn't even all of Twitch chat. I gotta take a step back from that. Because there was a ton of positivity across that stream as well. It's just the bad apples that spoil the barrel, spoil the batch.
And you guys, you know who you are. Finger point.
Shaking the finger. Okay, so
They probably don't know who they are actually,
No, they
because they're being completely reasonable.
yeah, in their head, they had, you know, such insightful commentary, that was, meaningfully delivered to people that really needed to hear it.
Yep.
Like,
Anyway,
why do you suck so much?
right.
Wow, what constructive feedback. I will let me make
Can really build on that.
wait, hold on. I need to make a note of that. Gonna write that down. Gonna have a meeting about that. Why do I suck so much? uh anyway, 8 player story and veteran. So the way this is gonna work is it's 8 player only, story and veteran only. But the veteran mode is kind of how they've done, like how Gods from the Machine worked, where veteran is a hard veteran. It's trends towards a master mode. And the rewards trend towards a master mode as well. And we're going to get to see a little bit of that. Uh, we showed you some of this in previous episodes. There are 4 bosses, 4 fights as you traverse the station. And there's some cool mechanics of even getting around the station. But you have to make sure you pick it up on the fleet, the IP daily, so that you can kill the IP boss, the first boss there, that droid. Then there's the Watchdog. There's Lord Kenoth and Lady Dominique. They go through each of them here. They showed them, and then they showed also, which I got kind of excited about, Seema, the deco that drops. So, and I wasn't clear on this, if you got the deco if you completed it on story, or you have to complete it on veteran to get the deco.
I thought it was completed at all,
I thought it
but I
was
guess
completed at all also, but I thought I heard Corley in our ops team say completed on veteran. So I'm not clear if you get it. I thought you got it by completing it, period. And
I yeah.
there are decos. I think it's the same. I think Gods from the Machine works the same way. There's a deco that you get for completing it, period, at all, and then there's another deco and cooler stuff that you can get by completing it in vet mode.
Right, like you get uh a mount like I forget what it is, but if you complete um Ravagers,
Right,
right?
right.
Yeah.
So this is the first boss. The IP boss is it's a sphere defense droid, ball droid. That's kind of cool. You fight him. We showed a little bit of that fight. The floor lights up in flames. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you get a deco, which is, it's one of the statue versions. Is not one of the live versions. You get the statue version of the the boss when you kill it, just as the achievement. But it's not just the statue. It's got a little bit of the corruption that's going on as part of the theme of R4 Anomaly, which is kind of cool. So it's this dark red corruption that's a key part of the Kenoth fight, but is sort of throughout the station, which I think gives a nice little twist to these decos.
Yes.
That's what made me happy to see it. So there's that. There's the Watchdog fight, which is kind of crazy with the management of many circles and many minds. And then you get the Watchdog on a pedestal as a statue, again with a little bit of the corruption woven through it. So it's that monochrome like stone statue with the dark red corruption veins running through it that I thought it just looked really cool. Okay, and then this gets to Eric's dad joke. So the third boss is Lord Kenoth. The deco that they have for Lord Kenoth is not him as a deco. It's one of the floor tiles, which is part of the Kenoth fight. The Kenoth fight is this corruption sprouting out of tiles on the floor and like covering various parts of the room in various patterns, and you needing to like hold the corruption back as a key mechanic of that fight. But Eric's, you can see their faces here in the lower right of them cracking up. Eric's dad joke here was, we asked this Sith Lord if we could have a deco of him, and he said, "No, you cannot. No, you cannot have a deco because he's Lord Kenoth."
Uh-huh.
But it was a little bit hard to hear what Eric was saying at the time, so not everybody got it right away. But there's the dad joke for that one, which I was amused by. And then the fourth boss, Lady Dominique, the Dominatrix, which Jackie is very excited about every time she talks about Lady Dominique. She gets very excited about how dominant of a dominatrix Lady Dominique is. Um, Lady Dominique gets her own statue, a little bit of corruption on it, but it also has a glowy light source underneath her hand, which maps to the machine that she's trying to activate behind her. That's part of her fight. Um, Again, pretty cool, pretty cool. It's just decos. I'm really glad we're getting an operation though. What about you, Seema? You raring to go?
Yeah,
You
I'm
ready
looking
for it?
forward to it. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be something for us to work on.
I
Um,
think it is going to be a challenge because it was a challenge when we tried it out on the PTS. I know it's been um, tweaked a bit since then, but I don't think it's been tweaked a lot.
right, right. And in fact, I know some of the tweaks that they were doing, mostly for vet mode, but also potentially for story mode as well, was to make some parts easier and some parts harder. So
Right.
of the
That's
first,
that's more what I meant. Like I don't think
yeah,
it's going to I don't think they like
I don't think they're
made
like
it
going to nerf it
super
a whole
easy.
bunch. Yeah,
Right. I don't think they intend for most players to be able to do it.
especially not sitting around in 320 gear, without your implants and without your
And
set
without
pieces and
voice.
things like that. Um, Now we'll talk about gear in a second, and that will be something that we'll be able to do on the side, which will potentially give us a little bit of a bonus. One extra reward, which is a rare drop in vet mode off of Lord Kenoth, that they did show off, got a lot of cheers from the peanut gallery, which is the Wings of Nairot mount. It's another effect similar to the coolness of the Wings of the Architect um, from what's her name? Uh, Bestia? Uh, Bestia or
No, oh my gosh.
save us,
Now that you asked me,
chat
I
room. Bestia is my pets are legion. It's
right.
uh
Brontes.
Brontes. Yeah, Brontes, Sith Lord Brontes and her Wings of the Architect mount. So it sprouts out of your back, you hover in the air, and it's corrupted. It looks like corrupted fairy wings, kind of.
It does. I
But
know. I like it.
but they're like dark and evil enough looking that it doesn't look like you're a butterfly. Um
No.
so yes, got a lot of cheers from everyone. Right
And
now,
I think it's different enough from the Wings of the Architect that
oh yeah.
it's cool.
I think it's going to be a good incentive, especially for those vet mode groups that are going to be in there doing this, doing the hard work. This will be something. It's going to be a rare drop to start, at least. And they said maybe it'll be less rare in the future, but a rare drop to start off of.
I don't think they said less rare in the future. I think they
Said
said potentially from other sources related to
yeah,
the R4 up.
yeah. I guess I meant more ways to get it. We may see more of them around. It'll be less
More
rare
ways to
amongst the
get it, but
population.
like typically it becomes even more rare after the initial,
Yeah.
like after the master mode raiders are done getting their drops and then it becomes 1 in 1,000 is
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
more
Yeah.
people can possibly get
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I meant less rare among the population, more still as difficult or even if not more difficult to get whatever other way they talk about they might be
Yeah,
able to get in the future. Yeah, you're right.
true.
They spent a bunch of time on this in the live stream, which isn't isn't all that compelling to me, but I think is really compelling for game development and the game industry in general, which was visual communication and UI UX updates. One piece which was interesting for them to talk about it, which was how they're sort of changing the way telegraphs kind of work in some of the fights to be a little bit more environmental and interactive. Instead of just a big circle on the ground, and there are still plenty of circles on the ground, uh, a key thing that they illustrated, and we showed some of this live, which was the way that the tiles of fire work in the IP fight, where you can see the tile like heating up. You can see the vapor of the flames starting to ignite in the tile of the fire, and then the fire starts, and it's not just a big red circle on the ground. Now there are still red circles on the ground, and there's different colored circles doing different things. But them turning more of the environment and the graphics and the effects of the environment into the telegraphs, I think that was a cool idea, or just a cool description. They've done pieces
And it
of
seems
the
kind of
past.
obvious now, but I never would have, until I saw all this today, I never would have put this kind of stuff in the category of UI UX.
Yeah,
Because
right.
when I hear that, I think, what do I click on? What
The
windows
sort,
open and
yeah,
close? What
the
font do they
sort combo
use?
box in
Can I search my inventory?
and I
No.
search my inventory.
Um, and I don't know. I kind of like that they shone a light on this because I think it's good for us to know as players that there is consideration given to this, and yeah, because
Yeah,
sometimes we don't think there is,
right,
and it's not right. It's
right.
it's
And
it's
this is a
it's not
key
true.
part of design, and that team that's working on the design. This is the kind of things
Yeah.
that they're like testing and trying and thinking about and whiteboarding and
And I thought the game designers and developers working on the mechanics and the but I think the reality is the story is part of it, and that's the writers, and the the gameplay is part of it, and that's the gameplay coders, and the the mechanics is
and
part of it, and that's a different designer, and then this part,
the
how
UX.
the
Yeah,
how the telegraphs look. And I mean, I'm glad that they have someone who is experienced looking at this stuff because we need it. We really need it. I
yeah,
mean, we need it. Our ops team needs it.
right,
It
right.
has to be meaningful for
We
us to have a chance.
we need it to be clear when
Yes,
we
we
do
need to be
this kind
very
of thing.
clear. Like it should say on the floor, "SEMA, go over here."
Yes. Don't stand here like a little sign like slams like comes down from the sky just with like a words written on it.
Yes,
Don't
right.
stand here. Danger. uh Another thing that they talked about a bit, and this gets to well, they talked about like the outfitter window improvements, and there's some good things coming into there. The people that are looking for those the updates to the outfitter, it's going to be a little bit easier to preview your stuff. You're going to be able to rotate your character. I like all that. There's a significant percentage of the population that does a lot with the outfitter and RP and that kind of thing. And as players, as you evaluate what you want out of the game, you need to remember that there are different groups, and on our other podcast, we've talked about this with a couple of people. They're called personas. There's different things that different types of players want out of big games like this, and you need to potentially be developing features and content for those players. Um,
Mhm.
those updates to Outfitter and how that's going to be working is designed for that player. So don't look at that, you know, and criticize it and say, why are they spending time on this? I don't use the outfitter. Um, Realize that that's part of the player base, and we need to support those players as well. This was another really interesting part, and this gets to again supporting a very wide player base. This was addressing accessibility in a really interesting way, I thought. Almost, I almost felt like it was a passive aggressive way, which was people weren't all that happy with the update to the icons
Yeah,
of the class styles.
right.
Um, in a couple different ways. One was, hey, the new color scheme doesn't match the old color scheme. I was really used to that. I don't like what you did. Another way you could think about it is accessibility. It's hard for me to see it. These colors aren't working out very well for me. They went kind of to the extreme, but I think done in a fine implementation. They gave you 3 basic presets, which were, here are the icons for the class styles, for the combat styles. There's the default preset, which is their new design and kind of what they think is a good baseline. There's a classic preset, which resets them to what they used to be, the color scheme for what they used to be. So if you prefer that, if you want to go back to that, you can do that. And then there's a preset designed for a couple common cases of color blindness. And then if that's not enough for you, they give you the full, full access, RGB access, hex code, full color wheel. Go crazy. Make them whatever you want. The kinds of people who this actually might make a big difference for are PvPers, especially hardcore PvPers. Having this class icon above someone so you can tell at a glance what their combat style is when you're at the high end of PvP is important. If you're going to glance over and you're going to see that is a power tech or that is a Sork, that's important for the decisions you're going to make for how you're going to interact with that player at a moment's notice. For you to be able to customize this, I just thought of this now. For you to be able to customize this and kind of like take the tank classes and make them all like a duller color because you're going to prioritize them last in the kill order or maybe second in the kill order, depending on how you're going to do it. But you're going to kill the healers first. So you make those like the bright colors, bright pink and bright yellow. That could be a really effective tool for PvPers.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'd be interested to talk to some PvPers if they're going to make use of this, but I thought that was kind of interesting and kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm going on and on and on. See
No, I mean, I was thinking also of the change they made to the inventory, like
Mhm.
boxes that are in the inventory.
Yep.
And that was actually got a lot of people, um, it was actually painful for a lot of people. And that made me wonder, do they even have an actual UI person working there? Because it seemed like such um,
An accessibility checkbox that they should have had
like
like a
a
style
right,
guide
like
for.
a right. Yes, a guide. And now I know that they did and they do, and there's just more that goes into it than what I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah, and multiple passes. I mean, maybe, there's
Multiple passes too.
yeah.
I'm not even sure. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there could have been months of work, and reviews on it, but it just didn't get up to all the parts. Because here's 2 other parts that they added in as well, which was the ability for the chat window maximum font size to get increased, going up from 30 to basically be twice as big as what it is to go to a 60-point font size. I thought that was good, but and every font size in between, counting by 2 from 30 to 60. Again, this is why I was sort of like almost thinking passive aggressive with some of
Yeah,
this stuff.
right. It's like
Is like,
yes.
oh, you don't like these colors? Here's 3 presets, and then fine. Here's the entire color wheel. Do whatever you want. The font's not big enough. Here's 50 more font sizes. Go crazy. It's like okay, we get it. Thank you. Thank you. And then they added it too, which I thought was another great point. But again, the wide open customization capability to the subtitles for cutscenes, and you can change the font color, and you can change this. I think you can change the size, the color, and the shadow underneath it. And they said full color wheel, yeah, size and color, go crazy. You want to make, giant pink text with a yellow shadow underneath it. Fine. Do whatever. Go nuts. And then And don't ask us again because we just did everything.
Well, I mean, I also think it's possible that they bought a tool that does that for every type of
Or yeah, or
text
implemented
on the
in some
screen.
way. Yeah,
Yeah,
like if they implemented the color picker in a way that they can use it in like 5 of these places, well, then, like sure, add it in, add it. We've got it now. Add it into all these
yeah,
places.
right.
Now, something more relevant to my interests and to a lot of our interests that they did talk about then Jackie and Eric did talk about um, the gear and where gear is going and the gear tier increasing. And the key point here is there's 2 new sets of gear that are coming out for veteran R4 that will be at the 340 rating for veteran R4. They're the virulent gear set and the hazardous gear set. With that, though, with all of the gear rating levels going up to 340, everything else is getting pulled up along the way. And that's their intent to continue to do this. So, although the conquest gear, the Noble Decurion and the Elite Decurion, Noble Decurion in particular comes from conquest, although that used to cap out and currently caps out until Tuesday at 326, that will now go to 330, as will the Elite and Supreme Decurion gear, which come from the Flashpoints and from Uprisings, and the Taiwanese gear, which is at 332. I think that's going to go all the way to 330 now as well. So Taiwanese and Kalomi coming from story mode operations, it looks like from this screen that they put up that all of those are going to go up to 330 as well, which is
Yeah,
interesting. So we're going to, I think, quickly be able to get ourselves into 330 gear,
right.
SEMA. Well, actually, this is going to be a little bit of an issue for me because the PvP gear is now going to cap out at 328 and not 330. And all of my 326 gear is purple 326 Thyrisian gear that will only go up to 328. Now, it's okay to diverge the rating levels for PvP versus PvE gear. That's a fine thing to do. But I took the shortcut to get the PvP. I mean, not much of a shortcut. I had to PvP quite a bit for it. I was flying GSF a ton. But I took that route to get my 326 gear because then I
Mm-hmm.
had purple 326. I'm going to have to go back now if I want 330 and get my probably get my Taiwanese, or I don't know what I'm gonna get. You know what we might end up doing, Seema?
What? What?
We might end up running a bunch of flashpoints
I wouldn't mind doing that.
because the conquest gear is going to be green 330, and
Right.
I bet Taiwanese is going to be green 330. And we're not doing a whole bunch of vet mode. We're either going to be doing vet mode operations, just vet mode regular operations to get our Kalomi and upgrade it to 330, or vet mode flashpoints, master mode flashpoints.
Yeah.
Because master mode flashpoints will get us to blue 330.
I think we should do some flashpoints. That would be fun. And we could like look up a few achievements and see and go after a few achievements doing that.
Yeah, some of the master achievements, which aren't part of the Steam achievements, but are still good and rewarding and fun to do. And if we're getting gear for doing them, it's a reason to go and do them. We'll go back and do
Yeah.
KDY. We'll grind out KDY again,
Yeah.
which is
No.
what we did.
Yep.
Your implants are going to go from 330 up to 334. They said, and I didn't catch this, and I think I was taking a shower at this point, and I didn't go back and play it again. They said there's 4 new tacticals being added. Um, did you hear what those are, chat
No.
room? What are the 4 new tacticals? Just, I mean, obviously it's not one per combat style. They needed to fill in 4 tacticals somewhere for somebody for something. I don't know. Um, should be interesting. So I don't know what those 4 tacticals are, but I will be keeping an eye on those as well. But yeah, so then what we'll want to be really grinding towards is higher than 330 gear, which hopefully we'll be getting. I don't know what the max level is of the story mode R4 anomaly gear. If that also caps out at 330 or what that is. I don't know what it is. I don't see
I didn't
Ricotta.
listen to this part.
Yeah, I don't see Ricotta on here anywhere as well. But it'll be, I wasn't thinking about it this way, but this will be a key piece of the 7.1 content for us. Is the gear and getting our gear upgraded and going after gear in new ways. So good.
Machete says it's 3 for Mercs and Commandos and 1 for Sentinel Marauder.
Really? Three for Mark? Well, that's I guess you had my attention, now you have my interest. All right.
Machete was listening.
Thank you, Machete. I guess I need to look into that. Is it for Arsenal, Mark? Or is it for IO? I guess I'm going to have to find out. I got some homework to do this weekend to get ready, see if I need to get a new tactical. Okay, we said we would come back to this at the end. The Lots Malgus, LOTSMALGUS. Go to SWTOR.com/redeem-code. You need to log in and get in there to log in with your regular SWTOR account. And you will get that deco, which sounds like it will not be around too long. So make sure you get in there and do it. Do it. Before it's gone. Manon daily area rewards. We will get some of that as well. Oh, I skipped over this part too in while I was in the shower. They did mention what some of those the Manon daily area rewards were, and we did know some of this was coming. But I guess the Phyraxan weapon sets. Oh, that's what this was. Yeah. So they showed off the Phyraxan weapon sets, and they also showed off. Oh, and we saw this before, didn't we, Seema? This is something Seema's going to be. This is why you're going to get all your alts up to 7.1, Seema. So they each can have a cerulean turtle mini pet.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe.
That is a good turtle.
And this is
That
where
turtle is a very good boy.
This is where I caught back up. Yes, the progenitor statue, which is ginormous, which I'm pretty excited about. And then they did show off a little bit of what's coming to the cartel market, which I'm not as interested or concerned about. But what is coming to the new high roller weapon set for Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. The only flaw I see in this is that the blaster pistol is too small. But it's got kind of a long barrel. But these are kind of cool, stylish weapons, and they do kind of have that kind of casino feel to them.
Yeah, they
Especially the assault cannon, the sniper rifle, and the blaster rifle. It almost looks like a like a slot machine wheel.
Right, right, like the cherries.
Yeah, and these are cool, and they're like gold and they're shiny. They look like a casino weapon, like something you would win at a casino in a good way. I like the hilts even. They're flashy, shiny. Are you gonna switch over to that blaster? Is that too large for you? It's too small for me, but too large for you, Seema.
I don't know.
Seema needs
That's
the
good.
noisy
That's a
cricket.
good question. I mean, I have a weapon tuning now that I could put on it, so maybe.
Is it a weapon tuning that makes the weapon smaller?
Makes it en fuego.
Yes, that's the best. Make everything on fire. So Nar Shaddaa Nightlife. Oh, here they said when it's ending. why did I not check this? And why did it not stick in my head? September 13th, August 2nd to September 13th will be Nightlife. So 6 weeks, significant amount of time. Get up on in there and get that companion. Get your rare drop from Nightlife and then tweet it out to me or drop it in Discord to show it off and shove it in my face because I won't be getting it. So that's what I love to see. Thanks everyone for that. I know that's coming.
Yes. Screenshots all over Discord.
Hey Max, look at this. here's all of my characters lined up with all of them having one.
Right.
Here's my inventory. This is what people were doing. Here's my inventory with 4 of the companions in it, Max. How does that look to you?
These things all happen.
Congratulations. And then they wrapped up the stream with some closing comments from Charles, which were bittersweet. It was nice to
Yeah.
hear Charles talk about it. He did leak a little bit of what's coming next. He said there will even be a new planet coming to the game
Yeah, I was surprised he said that.
later this year. I wonder if he was allowed to say that or supposed to say that, or, you know,
I'm
what are they going
sure
to
that
do?
there was
Fire him?
uh,
So the new planet's name is Ar- Arunic. Arunic is coming, and it's brand new. It's something never before seen in the Star Wars galaxy. So it's a brand new planet that's coming. He said revamps to PvP. He said more flashpoints and more story. He did not say the word operation, so I didn't hear that. But yeah, so more stuff is coming, and he's excited about it. And we've heard him say that multiple times now. So I know it's been a while, and I know this year has gone slow. Obviously, they're working through some things right now with some shuffling of the deck chairs. But we're getting 7.1. We're getting some of this new content. More stuff is coming. They're setting the foundation for things that hopefully are going to continue to come for us later in the year. I'm going to continue to be positive and take it when it comes. I saw, so my closing comments on this, and I'll be interested in yours as well, Seema. My closing comments on this were when this was coming out and when the stream wrapped up. Again, I shouldn't have been watching, but I was watching Twitch chat, and a bunch of the comments were, "Where's the roadmap? We didn't even get a roadmap. Why didn't we get a roadmap? Roadmap." My view on that, my evolving view on roadmaps is, I think roadmaps probably are not a good idea,
right.
because you can only be disappointed after a roadmap happens. Whereas if there is not a roadmap, there's nothing for you to be disappointed by, because your expectations are, I mean, it's still it's not ideal. You want people to be excited for things to come, so you can just
I yeah, I don't think the roadmap is the right way to convey that. And I think
no.
they do need to have a communication plan and they need to execute the various parts of a communication plan. And that the communication plan needs to serve their purposes as a business and as a studio, but not necessarily a roadmap.
My
And, and people didn't even want a roadmap until they got the first one, and now
Yeah.
it's like they're right or something.
Yeah, my thoughts are evolving, and I don't know if this is the right answer, even on a communication plan. Hello Games, so No Man's Sky, Hello Games. What they do is they speak through action. They deliver content on a regular basis, and that's their only communication mechanism. They have no communication plan beyond delivery. There is no roadmap. There is no
I
here's
guess
what's coming later in
we
the
would
year.
define plan in different ways then, because I would say that was probably their plan.
Well, but that's their delivery plan, but there's zero communication. So they're the only communication between the development team and the community is that single emoji that randomly comes out on a random day, which makes you think that something's going to be coming soon, like in the next week or two. And that's it. They don't They don't like they don't do live streams to say, and here's what else we're going to add. They don't put out they do put out a post when the expansion goes live, but they don't put out patch notes ahead of time. They don't say here's when here's when the thing's going to go live, because there isn't really like downtime. It's not like, I guess they don't even have downtime. There's just no communication. There's zero communication. And you would think that would be bad. And see, this is why I'm saying I don't know if this is actually perfect, because I wouldn't have thought this was would be bad, would be good, but they have zero communication, and it works for them. And maybe it wouldn't work for BioWare, and it wouldn't work for this situation, but it works for them, and people love it. But the flip side of it, and this is sort of where I led with it, is they speak through their actions, they communicate
Hmm.
through their actions. The
Right.
community has now, and this took years for it to happen, but the community trusts that the content will come.
And I I stand by my comment. I think that's was a considered decision, and that is their plan.
But it requires that Hello Games needs to
Well,
deliver.
and they are able to do it partially because they can deliver like that.
Yeah. So this week, the speculation was that the expedition, and I think there was even like some data mining. The speculation, the data mining said, "Oh, the expedition should start on Tuesday." The expedition did not start until Wednesday, and then there was speculation that they got delayed for a day, and it was going to have, they had to make a change. There was no communication. There was no announcement that the expedition would be happening on Tuesday. Because there was no announcement, because there was no roadmap, they didn't have to come back and say, we made a mistake, or it's going to come out later, because there never was. So it's kind of it's kind of freeing in that way.
Hmm.
I think it's a hard thing to make work. And again, as you're suggesting, they would really need to be careful about holding up their commitment to getting enough content out that it's always feels like the company is delivering and delivering and
But
delivering.
I and also, we've talked about this before too. Like if you're a company and you're going to have a Twitter presence, then you need to have someone whose job it is to monitor Twitter and respond to people.
Right.
And if Hello Games said, "We don't have the people, or we're not going to spend our HR budget on the people to monitor Twitter," for instance,
Yep.
um, then we're not going to have a Twitter presence other than this very
Then
limited thing with the icon.
right. And then yeah, then don't do it. And you may, like some studios and some companies may suffer by not having a Twitter presence. I think a lot of people would think, well, you kind of have to have, a social presence,
But you suffer more by
but you
having
suffer
one
more
and
by
then
doing
not
it wrong.
right.
Yeah, you're
Right.
right. You suffer more by doing it wrong. If you're gonna do it, you better do it right. If you
Right.
can't do it right, if you can't do it all the way, then
Hmm.
don't do it, because you're
Especially
only,
social media, because
especially social
you're
media.
competing with all the companies that just are on social media all the time.
You heard it here,
Like,
folks. We're quitting. New Overlords is quitting all social media. so
I pretty much already have personally.
there's that.
But yeah, I mean, you want to be Wendy's when it comes to social media, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they've come up with their approach, which is just pithy comments once in a while. They're not like, putting, here's the new menu item, or blah 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 blah.
Or they're not saying, how did you like the new cheeseburger?
Hey, fellow kids.
Like what chicken sandwich should we do next?
Right. 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 All right. Well, hey, we went a little bit long today, I think. Did we go long? I don't even have
Yeah,
my
we did.
coming up here. Boy, did we go real long? Not too long. A little bit long. We went a little bit long. It's worth it to get through this 7.1 live stream, to talk about the
What are you
end
gonna
of
do
an
first
era.
on August 2nd?
Um, I will probably look into gear first. I'll probably get to Manon relatively quickly after that, and check in with Malgus in particular, but I'll probably look at gear first. That's a driver for me. That's a thing that I
Yeah,
like to do.
yeah.
What about you?
Um, Probably check into Malgus and check the dailies. And then Gear is a thing for me too, but I prefer for you guys to figure it out first and sort of streamline for me so that my efforts can be more pointed.
Yeah. And then we'll be figuring it out as a group by Thursday what we
Yeah.
might want to do. All right, well that sounds good. And I think with that, we can take our EPC 433, 433 episodes, Seema. EPC 433 is ready to get kicked out of an airlock to broadcast this episode to all of you out there. To keep from missing out, subscribe to New Overlords on YouTube and iTunes, where the content just shows up. There's no roadmap. We deliver. I'm telling you, we deliver. So subscribe, ring that bell. I don't even know what ringing the bell does. What is that's like notifications or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just subscribe. I want us to get some more subscribers. We got a nice group. We got a nice community. But hitting that 1,000 subscriber number by the end of the year would be really cool. If you would like to find the links and find out more of what's going on next, you can go to newoverlords.com and you can join our new Discord. newoverlords.com/Discord will get you into our Discord link. It's small. We only have like 40 people, 50 people in there right now, but I put out previews of new stuff that we were working on. A little bit of sneak previews, a little bit of, like put a title screen for one of the new behind the games videos that's going up. That kind of stuff goes on the Discord. And once in a while, we do a little giveaway or something in there too. You can also follow me on Twitter, and I do tweet on Twitter. I have a social media presence at Max the Gray, and I'll keep you up to date there as well. For the AIE Guild on Starforge and in all the games that we play, especially next week for our Summer of Love event, check out ai-guild.org, and the Discord link is in the upper right there. You can jump in. We've got a SWTOR section with a bunch of channels. We're on Starforge. It's going to be Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central is the kickoff of our fun week, and then we're going to have the fun events all week in all of the games. If you want to check back in, see what a fun group of people is doing in all of the games, it's a really opportune time to do that. There are 3 or 4 D&D games going, which may have an opening or two as well, that are scheduled for one-shots or able to get people in that may not even have that much experience. Check that out. There's a section in for Summer of Love and the D&D games that are going on too. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.